battered, bruised, humiliated, betrayed, caught, trapped, caged. These might be some of the adjectives which have gone through your minds as you huddle at the southern wall of the sunken lands of the slave pens which you now call your homes, for better or worse. It all happened so fast. There you are, enjoying a drink within the walls of the Inn of the Bleached Onyx, and in walks Trouble, a breathless tiefling in a red dress, with a concerned, searching eye, clearly with an objective. And not a minute later, Trouble turns to danger in the form of the Templars. Standing here in the pens, your bruises, courtesy of those Templars, complain to you. But at least you stand. One could be so fortunate. In but a moment, you went from free to captive. And certainly not exactly what some of you had in mind today. Caught between two factions, and with the sun now at a much lower angle, despite the heat of the day, each of you catches a brief chill. Night is coming. Aurora, you know probably more than anyone what it means to be a slave within the pens of Gerst. An unforgiving existence, manual labor, brutal whipping, treating slaves worse than animals. You know this because whilst was not a duty you enjoyed, you too had a period of your Templar history passing by the slave pens and observing their duties. Nissa, as a citizen of Gerst, slaves are not a common sight, and whilst there may have been days where you might have thought about volunteering to become a slave simply to not feel that deep-seated hunger that tied your belly into knots, this was but a glancing thought. You have seen how the slaves are handled in Gerst, particularly those who serve the city such as you do now. And each time you winced at the brutality used to keep the slaves in check, even to the point of beating one to death for the smallest of mistakes, such as sweating or bleeding over the stones of the erected ziggurat. Lokar, how the mighty have fallen. The thought plays on your mind that if anyone of your tribe could see you now, would you never live it down? You set out into the world to discover answers to the secrets of your past, and being caged such as you are now was not part of your plan. Or was it? Karik. Same but different. The night sky beckons, and in that brings you a calming. A memory pops into your mind of your nomad elder telling you as a much younger turtle. Like the sands which dance on the desert winds, so do the lives of all creatures dance along the strands of time. Magrim, what the hell was your grandmother thinking? Better than elsewhere, I suppose. Right? And here you stand, slaves to the city of Gerst, slaves to the necromancer King Kalik. What would you like to do?
I would look over to Nissa also. And back to Melanda.
Melanda looks at
Alright.
you, looks at Nissa, looks at you and says, "What? You know better than anyone. Don't play coy, young tiefling.
Um, now Nisa remembers that when they were at the tavern, Malanda was tracing a triangle on with her fingers like on the bar,
Mm-hmm.
and she just now realizes, and she goes to Malanda and goes, "You were telling me the whole time.
I had
Nine
hoped.
hells! How have I been so stupid?"
Melinda gestures at Nissa whilst looking at Lokar like, they used to be smarter, right? Was that just me?
Not sure. Don't really, engage much with any of these people.
I'm going to walk closer so that we are within, well, no, without earshot of Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to talk to both of them. Well, I'm going to ask Lokar. So you are with the Veiled Alliance?
Associate.
What?
They're doing their thing. I'm doing my thing. I know Melanda, so she has the heart at the right place, so that's kind of where it stands.
Mm-hmm. So, Melanda, I turn to her. I mean, she's a bit speechless right now. The note I got said, "You will know them when you see them." What the hells was that supposed to mean? Like,
Do you not like my dress? I put it on just for you.
I mean, yeah, it's nice, it's lovely, but I don't know. I guess my mind was not in the right place, and I'm sorry that we ended up.
It's not your fault, young one. It's mine. I should have been more careful. It's not my intention to be here. Okay, Lokar. Just, you don't have to give me the shit. It's not my intention to be where we are today. I didn't even expect to see you in that inn. It's been what? 5 years? 6? How long has it been?
Yeah. It's hard to tell when you're in the desert, so that seems right.
You don't even message?
How? You think?
Right.
It's not like
Look,
I can find a raven or something.
Look at our history. It's been ups and downs, I'm not going to lie. You've always been there for me as well, and I've been there for you. But no offense, Lokar. This has nothing to do with you right now. I don't know why you're here. I'm curious why you were in that inn. I had one single thing to do today, and if it had just been the young one here, maybe we could have fled. Not that I'm blaming you, it's totally my fault. I'm accepting full responsibility for this. But there are other things happening in this city now, Lokar. Things that we've wanted for years. It's only now that we find ourselves in this position with years of work behind us. Why are you here? Are you here to stop me? Are you here to stop us? Explain yourself.
You look like that. Looking for answers and information, I told you that. You might have it. It's not really many people you can go to get the kind of information I'm looking for.
But I'm sorry to butt in, but maybe we can help. Like, what kind of information are you for?
Melanda, you know about my last mission? Before
Yes, I know about your nightmares.
and the reality. If you know who commanded, who had the idea or why it even happened in the first place.
I
There definitely happened something. And someone is responsible for that, and I need to figure out who.
said this
Ooh, are we
before.
killing people?
Aha.
Yes.
Okay.
That is on you, Lokar. I've only heard your sayings over an ale or two throughout the years, and to be honest, it's getting a little stale, much like the ale in this area. I'm surprised you haven't managed to figure anything out so far, but if it is answers you want, I am not that person not to give you answers. However, I am potentially a conduit? The Alliance knows many things, but I do not. The Alliance? Well, they like to keep things secret. It's how we survive here. I only know one other emergency contact. Should I get into trouble? I should reach out to that person who has other contacts. I don't know how many people that are in this city that serve the Alliance, but we're always looking for new members. This one, for example, she's been trying to sign up for quite a number of weeks. And in you walk to the city, Lokar.
Yes. All right. So you won't give me the answers.
I mean, I don't have the answers.
I
But
understand.
I have knowledge of people that might, if you're still searching. But now's not the
Well-
time.
I would remind you that they have a reason they ran after you and captured you, right? They probably know something that's going on.
I am
Not sure.
very curious about that myself, and one of those Templars just sits along the wall just there. I am curious.
You see Aurora. You see Aurora. She's just like tapping her hand. You see a spell or cantrip being cast constantly, and she's just staring at the tower that keeps canceling it.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to get like the pattern of how it works.
You know, like, there's, for lack of a better term, an anti-magic field that is powered by these, like, towers, so,
She's trying to tell if it's like there's a source in each tower, or if there's like a is one like out of sync, or each one making one, or are they all connected? Stuff like that.
I think you probably know that they're all connected, so, you're testing the actual infrastructure of the system that you worked under.
Yeah.
So-
So I know, if that's the case, I probably know there's a flaw somewhere. Just trying to figure out where it is.
Okay, well, you keep attempting to do this, but maybe you're hoping onto hope. Maybe you feel like, it can't be that good. But as you stand there, flashing a cantrip here and there, and failing every time, your heart sinks just a little bit each time it fails.
Anyway, what I'm saying, Melanda, is I'm not sure how much time you have, or how much time I have before they figure out who we are. And thus, I mean, you know what happens. I've been on the other side plenty of times.
Well, let's try and not catch the eye of the gods here. Clearly, the Templars that just dumped us in here, well, they're not here right now. So, there's clearly protocols to be had. And the best person to ask about these protocols is within these walls with us. No. There are answers to come. And more than enough time to talk.
You say so.
Melanda gives Lokar a nod and turns towards Nissa and says, I'm sure you have a lot of questions too. But we have time here. Can't get any worse. Melanda goes towards Magrim and looks looks him in his strange eyes, cocks her head a little bit and says, at first I thought you were a human, but clearly I was wrong. My deepest apologies. Don't know exactly what you are, but just because you look like a human, well, it doesn't mean that you are one.
Does it really matter what I am?
No, well, to some people, maybe. The fact that you look like a human from afar could have some, mistakes. But if a Templar makes that mistake, they aren't gonna go back on it.
Does it matter to you?
No, not particularly.
I'm glad to hear it. And it doesn't matter to me that you are a tiefling.
Thank goodness.
And, Mr. Turtle, thank you
Yes.
for offering your protection. You jumped in front of the Templars without a moment's thought. Not many people would do that for a stranger. You have my thanks.
I just hope you would do the same for me if I asked.
Maybe if I had one of those, and she gestures to your shell. Now,
Yeah, it is nice.
I have a need to talk with the ex-Templar. Melanda walks over to Aurora, witnessing her flicking her cantrip and failing. And here we are.
So it would seem.
Forgive me, but you do not seem like you're all too proud of where you are. Proud still, but maybe that's just you.
You haven't used your eyes recently, friend. We're not exactly in the most ritzy part of Gast.
True. But when does a Templar get thrown into the slave pens?
Today, it would seem, the world is full of surprises.
In my recollection, I've never heard of a Templar thrown into the slave pens. Unless this is something you do on the sly.
It would be somewhat humiliating for the Order to have one that they would require not dealing with themselves. Templar Order is very proud in their station. Your point, Melanda. What do you require?
What were you looking for? Why were you chasing me?
I met with Captain Blackscale in the morning. I lined up, got my orders. Red tiefling, dress. Related to an assassination attempt on King Kalik, blessed be him. We searched the warrens, we searched the markets, we spotted you. We discerned where you were running based on common criminal activities. You hid behind Goliath, and we knocked you all out. And then, I got knocked out.
So, an assassination attempt.
I remember my commander got his personal set papers, orders. The Ganassi, if you remember him.
How
They
can
might
I
be
forget?
different. He's a good man. Trying to figure out why he would take me out and why he would throw us all into slave pens. If you truly were an assassin, that would mean there's a team, an organization behind you. You're hardly capable of killing King Kalik yourself. Were you interrogated?
By who? I woke up just like the rest of you, thrown into these, well, forsaken slave pens. The only wild card here is you. You are human and a Templar, which doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever to me. The fact that you're thrown in here with us, well, that calls into question why they would do such a thing, but you stand strong. You stand strong on the fact that King Kalik, praise be his name, blah 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 blah, fuck that guy. Why do you still hold them dear? They threw you in here. You are just as much as garbage to them as us.
Aurora's going to very slowly tilt her head towards Melanda. I am not garbage, Melanda. And though you have some unnecessary hatred for my kind, I will rise above whatever absolute horseshit you send my way. I serve King Kalis. I serve King Kalik. It is not because he is necessarily a good individual. He's a fucking necromancer. But my station, my order, and my oath matter. What I have accomplished with my life, what my family has accomplished with our lives, matter. Despite every institution in tower against it.
I'm gonna move closer.
Mhm.
Just to stand there. For now.
Mhm. Look, Lady Templar. I'm caught. You got me. You're caught. Did you get you?
I am not your enemy, if that is what you're asking.
Really? That's cute coming from a Templar. But look, I'm going to be the bigger tiefling here. It's not like we can do anything to each other in here. The guards always watching as Melanda looks around and sees like the guard posts and the guards watching down on everything that's happening. For now, I suggest we do our best to survive. Day one in the slave pens is easy, but from what I've heard, the guards just get off of dehydrating their slaves to the point of when someone's going to go mad, pass out, die. Look at that one over there. And she gestures to one of the random humans that is like slumped up against the tent.
You know what's funny, Melanda? Is that dehydration is good for you. When the whipping starts, you bleed less.
Melanda sort of physically shivers with that statement and swallows in quite a difficult, like a lump in her throat, and says,
Now, I highly suggest that we find a way to either gain access to resources we'll figure out how the system works. It's an anti-magic field, and it's powered by the towers. I don't know the internal workings, but I remember they are connected. And casting this damned light cantrip seems to confirm that.
If anyone can get out of here, I'm sure it's you, Templar. You are privy to more
I am
information than I could ever hope to dream.
Don't be an idiot. I can't do it alone.
For now, all we can do is wait. If you have any other interesting information that could help our plight, well, I'm sure everyone here is all ears. But judging by how everyone looks, and she's like looking around to all the other slaves, it seems like, well, they're out of hope, resigned to their plight.
Suffering can break any individual. It can also turn them into greater than they ever thought they were. Aurora's gonna get up and kind of roll her shoulders a little bit and walk over to the nearest important looking slave and be like,
Mm-hmm. So these ones in the bottom here, they're like, you know, sitting on the ground, like with their forearms on their knees and their head pushed down between their arms. They do not look like they are in a good state. They are malnourished. They're wearing a loincloth, and their skin is blistered from sunburn and red in some places, patchy. And their skin is almost semi-translucent. Like it clings to their lack of muscle. And they look like skeletons. They breathe, but it's haggard breathing. You look further to the north and there's a collective of more better off slaves up there.
gonna give a deep sigh watching this horrid affliction of humanity and walk beyond them, honestly.
Okay.
And just go to the more important. There's Bro guy up there, Jim Bro.
Oh, Jimbo.
But but I also want to talk. I also want to talk to some of the other slave leaders and basically start asking them, "You there, human? My name is Aurora. It's
can you move your
wonderful
token
day."
so I know who you're talking to?
Oh yes, give me a second.
Also, is there like anything like left on Aurora that make her seem like a Templar?
No, she is wearing the same rags as you.
Just okay. So they don't necessarily know that she's a Templar.
No.
Good.
Only her demeanor if she chooses to enforce that.
You there, sir. My name is Aurora. It is a pleasure to meet you today. I'm great son and all. Have you tried to escape?
Bitch, I'm a woman.
Ah, forgive me, madam. I've had quite the blow to the head today.
I don't care. I don't care if you had some blow to the head. What makes you think you have the right to come up all nonchalant walking up into me? I'm minding my own business. You mind your own damn business too.
Very well. I will continue to respect your business. You there. Master Grange.
The Goliath, who's just there like flexing with his he's like sparring with his pugilist buddy. He stops like punching his hands, and he looks up over him. He's towering over this human, and he says, "Huh? Yeah. What can Grange do for you?"
Grange, if you wouldn't mind, could you tell me how you've attempted to escape? What didn't work?
Oh, he looks around over his shoulder real quick, like, I've never attempted to escape. No, bruh. That's just crazy. No one ever escapes. I've never even thought about it.
Oh, I understand, sir. Forgive me. But if you were to attempt to escape, perhaps we could discuss that when you have need a bit of a minute to recover from your sparring match.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. How about you go on? I'm busy. And he begins looking, starts punching the hands of the human, looking at you warily, and every so often in between a set of punches, he looks over his shoulder warily around.
So
I see.
Grunge, you're not telling us that you escaped, but your broken ankles speak wonders for us. You tried to climb out of this place many times, huh?
Grunge stops and looks down at his ankle, and he looks up and says, Nah, bruh. That was just from work the other day, you know?
From falling onto work? Or work falling on you?
Oh, no, I slipped and fell off the ziggurat, that's all. It's easy, bruh. You can fall off at any time. Not for Grunge, though. Grunge doesn't fall, but this time he did.
I think Lokar's just watching them go past the pass and just having his arms crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Looking tense as always.
Nisa is also watching with a raised eyebrow at the whole scene. Can she tell whether anybody else is paying attention to their conversation about running away or escaping and making any sort of reaction?
Make an insight check.
Insight.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. 20.
Did it come through? Or did you roll
think
it
it
on
did.
D&D Beyond? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I was too far up. 20. You can see, you get the feeling literally everyone is watching this conversation. You're hyper aware of the fact that everyone is not doing a single thing, just minding their own business, and this is the only real conversation of any sort of interest, and everyone is paying attention.
Okay, so I'm just gonna walk closer to Aurora, and I'm gonna say, you may want to keep it down. People are staring.
I could be subtle. I really don't
Yeah,
want to be.
It's a necessity, I would say.
It would be so much easier if people were just honest and direct.
Well, you're not wearing your uniform now, so get used to it, I guess.
They're not even honest and direct when I wear it.
What can I say?
Master Grange, of course you are only falling off of ziggurats. It was a mistake. Even the greatest occasionally have a slip up. But forgive me if I've had the wrong assumption. You are, of course, completely loyal to everyone here. There is nothing you would ever do to attempt to escape. We're all in it together. And it's going to be the weakest deception attempt I've ever done.
Okay, roll it with disadvantage.
I don't actually know how to roll it with disadvantage.
You can just roll it twice and
Just
take a
roll it
low
twice,
one.
it's fine.
There are like some settings, but it's only like always or never. So
Not terrible.
Grunge looks at you and says, "Respect you, bruh. Respect you for saying that. It couldn't have been easy, bruh. But you know, acknowledging me, acknowledge Grunge wouldn't fall off the ziggurat. But you know, sometimes even the best fall, just how you get up. Just get back right on that horse. That's what Grunge always does. Thanks, bruh. Respect you."
Of course, Master Grange. I would never think lowly of you.
Roll deception again.
Nice.
Okay. He looks at you and he's like, cocks his head and says, Yeah, right, yeah. Of course. All in it together. Thanks, bruh.
If you need a sparring partner, let me know. I'm sure he could use a break here in a bit.
Yeah, you see the human who's like holding his hands up and they're kind of like mangled and you can see he's clearly wincing in pain. He's like, Thanks, bruh. Could use more sparring partners.
Turn to Magram and kind of nod to the blistered human. Good luck.
You can see, like, with your passive insight, he looks at you like, please God help. But he turns like towards Grunge again, and Grunge is like, come on, hands up, bruh. And he's like,
Oh, come on, Master Grange. Let's go ahead and get this ready. We can spend a long time together. I've taken worse than this.
thanks, bruh. Maybe another day.
Are you sure? Don't you want to test your mettle while I'm still strong and not been whipped a half dozen times?
No thanks, bruh. It's almost chow time.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, they are. They will feed us here, won't they?
It's not very good. Do
Well, I
eat
wasn't
all of it.
expecting it to be good.
Well,
Well, I suppose it would be easier to talk with everyone once they are at least somewhat fed.
oh, no, it's timed. Can't have the slaves, taking a break now, could we?
That wasn't what I was saying. It's easier to talk to people that have somewhat eaten.
Oh. Fair enough. Basic necessities, of course.
Well, they're not going to starve us. They need us to work, so they might as well feed us. Just for that purpose. Don't worry, we'll get food.
Nasa, it doesn't matter if you're alive or dead to King Kalik.
Well, right, I imagine if he's a necromancer, he could animate my corpse to work on that fucking ziggurat.
And it's just as effective as the starved laborer.
Nisa looks over at the ziggurat and arrows her eyes. I wonder if he's, overcompensating.
Never met him, don't know.
He's a necromancer. Everything that he could compensate probably fell off. Anyway, Mr. Grange, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. And
Thanks,
it
bro.
been a better pleasure speaking with you after, how you said, Gwang? Grub?
Ciao.
Ciao. Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao.
I thought we used that word to say goodbye.
Yeah,
How
it's-
good is your common, Magram?
Oh, it's I'm not a local.
Right.
Yeah, where do you come from, Magram?
Well, I'm from the east. Let me pull up a map real quick. I forgot.
That's okay.
That's not the map that I was looking for. Basically, he'll tell you that it's located. That he came to this place from a peninsula that is untamed and has a mixture of all kinds of race.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
he'll tell you the name of it that I definitely wrote down.
It's okay. It's okay.
Berlem, that's the one.
All right.
Um,
Oh, is it nice? Is it a nice place? I've never been outside of Ghost, so I wouldn't know.
No, you mean everyone who's in the earshot that wishes to know can roll a history check.
Okay.
There it is.
Aurora, there's no way that you would know anyway, but good to know. Nissa and Karik, sure. Nissa, like, world knowledge isn't just like for the well-educated. Throughout your childhood, perhaps, or maybe you saw a map at one point, you've seen the world map. You know the continent of Epsilon and Upsilon. You've heard the stories, maybe from your father, like of the size of the realm. You know, just to give you an orientation as a kid. Ferelem is the very southern peninsula of Upsilon, beyond the realm of elves. It is a wild jungle area on the whole. There are areas of civilization on the west of that peninsula. Not very much information comes out of Ferelem. It is considered to be a place where there are quite a lot of elves. And it's more like a mysterious land, I suppose. At least that's as much information as you would have been given at that point. You're told about like the various locations within Epsilon that hold significant relevance or, landmarks. The same with Upsilon. But when it came to Ferelem, it was like something going on down there, but you're not quite sure what it is. There's a bunch of forests, a bunch of jungles. Nobody really comes from Ferelem.
Okay. Ooh. You've come a long way then.
Yeah. It's the voyage has been quite eventful. I even seen a whale surf.
Wow.
Yeah, we ate it later. It was good. Have you ever tried some of our fruits?
Sorry?
Let me tell you, the yellow stick, it's good.
Yellow stick.
Yeah. It has a very, it has a skin that you have to remove. But the white insides are very good. But the outside is yellow, so that's why we call it the yellow stick.
You mean a banana?
Banana? That's ridiculous. No, it's a yellow stick.
Well, I guess that varies, but
Do you peel it?
Right?
yeah.
Do you like peel it from the top? And it, like
Yeah,
they
you
grow in bushes?
They grow on trees.
No, in like bushels, groups.
Oh, yes, they do grow in groups. And yes, you remove the skin.
By Ilmater, it is a banana.
It's a yellow stick. I guess you guys call it differently, huh? Interesting.
Wait.
Anyway, I suppose all of you are from this fine city?
No,
Yeah.
I've lived here since I was a child, but I am from further east. East. Oh, it gets confusing nowadays. My family owns property out when you go in northeast, but haven't seen or talked to them in years.
Carrick, are you from Ghost? Oh, Carrick is AFK, right? But
Yeah, he's talking to his wife.
yeah. He'll ask Lokar that question.
I think you can see Lokar has been like listening to the conversation. It, albeit a bit far away, further away. Not really bothered to like even try to think about what those places you talked about. And he just looks at you. No. Not really.
All right.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, guys. Sorry to. This is Nisa speaking, by the way. I didn't. Guys, I would love to talk about yellow sticks and the like all day long. But these people, and she points at the humans standing right behind. I have a feeling they keep listening to us and staring at us, and I'm very uncomfortable. So maybe we should get on with the plan of sorts, which I don't know how we're going to go about, but I'm getting uneasy.
I can punch anything. If that's how we get out of here, I can do that.
You're very good at punching, yes.
And Roar just kind of rubs a bruise that's forming on her shoulder.
After this night, I suppose I think we agreed on sleeping on this side, right? So, let's make that clear.
Figured we were waiting after chow time, but this works too, I guess.
Just as you begin shifting the conversation away, a gong rings out at the north end of the pen. And the moment that happens, there is activity amongst everyone in both sides of the pen. Just like when, I don't know if you've seen those movies of like when a cat hears the sound of the cat food machine, they just like panic run. It's more or less like that with everyone. And as this gong rings out, you can see coming out of the huts a number of guards that are just lining up at the north end in preparation. As the activity happens, I mean, I could move all the tokens, but I'm just gonna narrate it for the time being. Everyone on both sides lines up in one long line, one behind the other, almost like it's a fire drill, like interweaving with each other. The fact that they are elves or others at this point in time makes no difference. Grange is one of the first ones to get to that front line, and as he stands there, he's like, "All right, it's grub time. Yeah, let's get some grub." As this happens, one of the head guards stands up on the podium overlooking the fence and says, "All right, maggots, get in line. If you're caught at the back, you ain't getting grub." And everyone like sort of shuffles in to a line, starting from. I would just like draw a line, I suppose. Like it's like here. What do you guys do?
I mean,
Get in line.
yeah, I think Lockhart is like a slight moment of hesitation, but this is swept away pretty quickly too. Then get quickly into line.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone not get into line?
Magrum gets in the line after Lokar.
Okay.
Yeah, Nisa does too.
I'm back. Sorry, what did I miss?
We're
The
just about to get food. But only if we're in line and not the last one in line.
Yeah, indeed. So, some of the humans that are in the very south east corner, they move a lot slower, almost like they are living corpses, as they like struggle to get to their feet. Even Melanda gets in line, and we'll say like one of them at the manages to get in line, but is last. And just as the gates open to the north, this slave grabs hold of Melanda's hair and attempts to like pull her down and out of line. Melanda clearly fights back from this, almost like in a laughable state, like, "Hey, what the fuck? Get off!" And pushes the slave that is grabbing her hair away, almost like he was a rag doll. And he stumbles back, weak, and he sighs and looks at Melanda with like desperation in his eyes. But she does not move from her position.
Karg's gonna step out and let Melanda take his place and stand behind her.
Oh, okay.
And swap places.
Yeah.
Aurora is gonna walk down, look at the slave, help him up, and then stand behind him.
Interesting.
Not really say anything. Just grab him, get him up, and not again.
So, just for lack of needing to move everyone's tokens, the red line is basically everyone in the pen, except for no, it's everyone in the pen, right? You guys are near the end because obviously everyone moved a lot faster to you. Then, I'll put Grange at the top just so you guys are aware. The gates open.
Always on top.
Yeah, Grange is on top, and the gates squeak open, held by one of the guards, and says, "All right, one at a time. Grab your gruel. Grab your water." And Grange is basically running through the gate. He's still walking, but half running. And you can see as it's slightly above, and you're that far back. You can see that as he's quite tall, he walks over to the side here, to the table. He grabs a bowl, and then he goes over to here, and he dips another cup. He takes a cup, and dips it into the trough. And then walks back down into the slave pens, and he's gonna walk by, and you can see what he's carrying, and it's like in one, he's got two bowls, one in each hand, one with water, one with like a pale sloppy porridge, and he goes over back to where he is usually sitting on a rock, and he puts the water cup down next to him, and he begins to kind of spoon the porridge into his mouth very messily. The line proceeds with each member of the slave pens doing exactly the same thing until it is your turn.
While this is happening, while the line's progressing, Karg is intently looking at the towers to see what the guards up there are doing.
Yeah, they are obviously on watch. They hold heavy crossbows, and
They seem like they're watching more intently now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Lokar, I don't know how much we can see out at the gate, but I think Grange talked about like another fence. Can I see that?
He was referring to the fact that where you are in the sort of depression hole of the slave pens, on top of the rock face is another 10 feet or so of wooden fencing.
But past this like gate they just opened, does there seem to be like more like fences or anything, or is it?
No.
Okay. I think he's gonna look for that, and he's also gonna like start measuring up like these guards,
Mm-hmm.
kind of trying to see how many he could take.
Sure. Let's say.
Just
Oh,
starting
I forgot one thing. So, like, as you're proceeding up the line, let's say you're about here. You're near the closer end of the line. This lady, who was approached by Aurora earlier, she makes her way up there, and you can tell like her posture and her demeanor is slightly off. Like she's a little shifty. A little, tweaky, like she twitches occasionally, and she makes her way up to past the gate, and she goes over here to pick up her bowl, and she's not as quick as like everyone else is. She just stands there and looks at this bowl, and you can see her head sink as she stares at it. And with a deep breath, she reaches out to the bowl, and the slave master, what was his name again? I forgot. I put his name down.
Blacktooth.
Yeah, Blacktooth.
Oh, Gron. Yeah, Gron Blacktooth.
Yeah, Gron Blacktooth.
Sorry, I usually have it as a nameplate, but I just put it there. He says, "Not fast enough, slave," and slaps the bowl of porridge out of her hands and says, "Better be fast if you want that water, or you'll lose that too." And the bowl like flies over the fence and like lands next to you. And this lady here moves a little faster, grabs a bowl of off the ground and looks left and right, and she makes a run for it. She jumps over the water trough, clearly trying to escape, and the guards immediately act upon this, and one jumps down from this rock over here. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And grabs her by the head easily, and raising her his whip, he begins to wail down on her. Then two other guards do exactly the same thing, and then another one joins as she is on the ground being whipped by the guards. You can hear her screams for like help and pain, and they keep on whipping down like, that'll teach you trying to escape, fucking slaves, always trying to escape. And they keep on whipping her until the sounds of her her cries of pain heard no more.
Can I get an idea of like how like well trained they are, or how like strong they seem from this interaction?
Sure. Roll me a insight with advantage given your background.
Boy. 13.
As far as you're concerned, that seemed very well trained. They moved almost in unison very quickly. It didn't seem like a surprise to them. They were on her within a moment.
And I know these guards in the tower have crossbows. And does these guards down here, do they have just a whip, or do they carry like other weapons?
They have a club on their belt.
All right. Good to know. At least that's like travel thoughts over.
Mm-hmm.
and continues in the line. Like the line probably just continues as this is happening.
Yeah. With everything happening, the head guard here looks over and says, after this whole sort of scene plays out, he yells back down to the line and says, "Get a move on, maggots!" And the line shuffles again. I think there's only like a handful of other slaves ahead of you guys, and they silently go grab their porridge, their water, and come back to their spots until it's your turn.
Do the same.
Okay.
The moment I get close to the end, like before that, I've been like observing them and stuff. But the moment I get close, like I'm aware, so I'm not going to like make eye contact with these or do anything. It's hard for him to like turn down his being tense, but he's not engaging in eye contact or anything, so it doesn't seem like he's tense towards someone or anything. And he just like looks down more and moves towards his food and his water.
You look at the bowl of porridge as you go to pick it up. And it is this thin, sloppy, semolina style gruel. And you can see occasionally as you like peer down at it just as you pick it up, a couple of maggots wriggling through the porridge.
Seem to not care very much.
Okay.
And yep, he just takes his water.
Okay, you grab your ration. And you head back into the pens?
Yep.
Cool. Yes, protein.
I think as Mogrim was behind me, maybe as we were like still in the line after they saw, I think he just told him like very like whispered to him, I can probably take 2 or 3 of those. Nothing more.
As Magrim goes, as it's his next turn for his grub, how many guards can he count?
You can, take a look around. You can count as many as you can see. But you're aware that this amount of guards was not here at the start, but they came from somewhere. And they're surrounding the slave pens. On the left-hand side, there are larger huts that seem to have like larger entrances. And on the right-hand side, they look kind of more fancier, like tiled roof huts. So there's clearly more people surrounding the slave pens than just those observed. And some of the guards that you see are not guards that you've seen before, so there's some sort of shift work going on here.
Okay. Magrim takes note of all of this information as he takes his food. When he takes his water, do they just leave the corpse of the woman next to the water?
As you take the water, you can see that her dead eyes stare up to the sky, blood out of her mouth, and clearly a massive fracture on her skull as like part of it is collapsed in. You can see that there is some sand, some dirt that's been kicked over her face, and she's just been left there.
As Magrim sees that, he'll say a quiet prayer to Lathander as he goes back into the pen.
Okay. Nissa?
Nissa is just, going to do the same as everybody else. She's going to walk out, and she's going to, when she's picking up the porridge next to the overseer, I think.
Yep.
She's not going to say anything, but she's just going to try to look him deep in the eyes, trying to inspire like anything, possibly intimidate him. But she's just going to look him in the eyes and see how he reacts.
Okay. Do you have any proficiency in intimidation?
I do not.
Okay, roll me intimidation with disadvantage, please.
Okay. So I just rolled twice, right?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Ooh.
Natural one.
Oh, God. You stare, you catch the eyes of Gron Blacktooth, the slave master overseer, and you attempt to give the evil eyebrow wiggles at him to try and give him, like, I'm a strong, independent woman. He looks down and says, like, eyes on the grub, worm, and like punches you in the face for 3 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Well, thankfully she's doing sort of okay still, but she's going to spit some blood at his feet. Well, not at his feet, but beside his feet, and wordlessly she's going to move to grab her water, and then move back into the pen.
Okay. Melandra, like, sees as you, like, cross paths, kind of like on the catwalk as a model. She passes by you, and she has this half smile on her face. And as you sort of cross paths, you hear her say, I would expect nothing less from an initiate. And she goes, grabs her gruel and water, and comes back quite quickly. Carrick, any difference here?
Yes. So, while I was waiting in line, I just at some point scooped up a handful of sand.
Oh yeah,
and
pocket
just
sand.
Yeah, lightly holding a little bit of sand in my hand. And then as I cross the gate, well, first, sorry, I come over here, I get my bowl of slop.
Yeah.
And then as I'm walking back across to get my water, I'm gonna try to, as discreetly as possible, cast just to see if it works outside the fence. Create or destroy water, and try to fill my bowl with water before I get there, so it's super subtle and nobody sees it, hopefully.
Oh wow. Okay. Create or destroy water. Does that have a verbal component?
It does.
So.
So I'm gonna be whispering to myself.
So you kind of.
They probably don't understand magic. You're just talking some nonsense. You're a turtle.
So here's the thing about when you play like D&D. It's like people could say I whisper the spell components, right? Unfortunately, anyone can do that and then gain subtle spell. But in this game, and Karak will know, like you have to say the words with strength and verve. Like you have to like be audible when you have a verbal component, unless you have subtle spell. So you can choose to not do this because the guards, as you pass them by, they will all hear you with the verbal component.
Alright, then yeah, I won't do that. Alright, I'll just get my slop and water and go back in the pen.
All right. It was a good try there, but I mean the game mechanics are they are. So the weak human that is like now not last walks up, looks back towards Aurora, and with a weak smile and a shaky of knees gives a nod and like slowly walks up the ramp, grabs some gruel, grabs some water, and heads back down. As he goes through the gate with his slop, his gruel, his grub and water, the sort of main head guard here says, if you ain't hungry to be first, you ain't hungry to be fed. And the gate closes on you, Aurora, and no food or ration is had for you.
gonna walk up to the guy that I let go in front of me and remember this for later.
He looks at you like his hands shaking with holding the weight of these bowls, and he's like almost his face is half in the bowl eating the maggot infested gruel, and he like looks at you with like tired eyes, and he nods.
All I ask is your trust.
And I
Go
will
find somewhere to not look so pathetic.
I'll put a pink on him for you.
Nice.
And he goes back and sits with the rest of his sorry posse. Okay.
I'll stare directly at the elf that said I had to give up my ration.
Okay.
Lisa's going to walk over to Aurora and again wordlessly hand over her porridge and just go, I'm not that hungry.
Is it because of the maggots?
Probably.
Give it to the Goliath. He requires the most calories.
Don't be an ass. Take it.
I'll take half the water.
Okay. And I just give her my bowl.
Yeah, I'll split the water, and I'm not touching the gruel. No.
Okay. Lokar.
Yeah. Being the first out, I approach Grange. He probably already has finished his food.
Yep. He's basically licking the bowl with great fervor, as if like within the fine fibers of this wooden bowl there could be the tiniest amount of protein still there. And he comes up as you walk up to him. He's lapping it, and like it is like as clean as a bowl could possibly be. Yet he still goes at it like.
You don't mind that me and my compatriots chill with you guys, right?
Grange looks up to you, and he says, "I respect you, bro, but it's not my call. You have to earn yourself if you want to be part of my crew."
What does that mean?
Well, as you can see, bruh, got a situation here, bruh. Got them elves over there, bruh, and it's real hard to actually coexist with them. Like, in the night, there's a bunch of thievery happening. We try and take back what's ours. They try and take back what's theirs. It's hard to even know who's doing what these days, or who owns what.
What are you even stealing?
You know, water, rations, half-eaten gruel, whatever you can do to survive, bruh. Come the morning, you're gonna feel the effects of not having enough water and grub, bruh.
So you just ate all your grub, so I don't think anything can be stolen there.
You
Do they
see...
steal your empty bowls?
I'm sorry, missed that?
Magram asks, do the elves steal your empty bowls?
Nah, bruh, but you know, some people like to pace themselves, others are a little slower.
Seems like a their problem, not a you problem.
He,
But-
Grange shrugs, just like, whatever, bruh.
Well, I suppose.
We could make an offering.
Yeah.
Grunge, you are a capable man. You are strong and able, and I'm certain that if you get even stronger, no fall can harm you.
Grunge
Why don't
looks
you
at you
say-
and like blinks slowly, like, yeah, them some words, bruh.
Now, how about we share one of our rations to join you under the great night under one of your tents, so that we join you in defending your food and water and whatever else you guys have from the elves, as some of us can't see in the dark.
Oh. Well, you know, that's not really my call, bruh. I mean, I'm just one of them here. I'm the biggest one here, of course. And he like sort of flexes his pecs. They goes dunk 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 dunk. He looks over towards a slightly older gentleman here and says like, "That's for Manaj. Manaj is he's the brains of the outfit over here, bro. Like I just do what he says. You just look like, you know, maybe I could train with you sometimes." And he like looks to Lokar. That's all. But Manaj, he's the one who's gonna make sure that everyone gets their fair share around here, bro.
Do we
No
know?
one will spare with me.
Magrin walks over to face Manaj and recites a similar speech to him. It would be advantageous for us to stick together, wouldn't it? He's trying to be as persuasive as he can right now.
You make a compelling point, but Manaj is sitting there. He's wearing the same loincloth as you are, but he's got like a little scarf of like clearly makeshift loincloths around his neck and around his head. He looks over to you and he blinks. So roll a persuasion check as he looks over his bowl.
Let's go.
Ooh, 19. He will counter. He looks and says, "Make a compelling argument. After all, gaining the numbers advantage over their mills. Well, that'll be helpful. Look, we don't really do this with newcomers, right? Usually we're not actually trying to sway the numbers one way or another. You see, and they have over there. He's made it very clear that if we try and form an army around it, he's going to come down on us, right? And they've got their wily elvish ways. Like, they don't really sleep, and we need to sleep. We fear for our lives, and if he says, hey, you do this, we'll just wait for you to fall asleep. We're going to actually have a bit of trouble. So, we try not to rock the boat. Try to make it so that it's perceived that trying to keep the peace. We're all slaves here in the pens, you see. Now, you can, if you want, take one of those tents down the bottom there, and he gestures to the south. A couple of them folks down there might not last the night, you see. Yours, for tonight. You make other arrangements. Or you prove to us that you're in with us. And you're willing to face the consequences of having their males come down on us. What we just want to do here in the pens is have our slop, do our work, and just survive. Do anything to harm those odds, well, I'll set Grange on you. That alright?
Sounds like it's quite a fair proposal, especially from your side, trusting some people you just met. And let me tell you, you do look as wise as I'm told.
Yeah, well, you can stick your tongue up your own arse, because flattery ain't gonna get you anywhere with me, alright? Take the tent. Gonna kick out the other people, of course, because they're just gonna want to sit in there. But you got the strength. Take it. And Manaj goes back to, shoveling the very loose gruel into his mouth with his dirty hands.
Yeah, I think at this time, like, why Magrim was talking, Lokar has, like, already finished his bowl also.
Mm-hmm.
Maggots and all.
Yum yum protein.
Doesn't seem to mind it that much.
While Karik was eating, he was kind of looking over at the elves side of things. Wanted to see, was there any kind of like hierarchy going on, like someone getting more food than others, like taking away from other people?
Oh, make a perception check.
Neat. Oof. Not good.
Not neat.
Since I've been like staring at the elven leader the entire time, kind of trying to observe him and the rest of the group, could that help him with advantage? Because we're both kind of looking for the same thing.
It's a passive thing to understand. Like, you're looking for things and you have your own sights. You can't help someone with their own eyesight unless you're looking for. You have already communicated something specific. This is more like something that you're individually doing. If that's what you're also looking for, you can also roll perception, but it'll be your roll. Do you want to do that?
What happened?
Aurora?
Aurora?
He's in deep thought. That's a
boy.
big decision.
He's doing the big think.
Discord attacked.
Did the Discord bug happen?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Like...
A little writing real quick. Is
Is
everything okay?
Maybe I can also roll that.
okay.
He said
Okay.
BRB 1 sec.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we can just.
Okay, so like, you don't see Karik any sort of hierarchy or any sort of instances of people like offering their bowls to anyone else. No.
Okay. I'll just keep eating mine then and watch the whole conversation happen with Manaj and Grund and all them.
Cool.
Yeah. So after I finish my bowl, I hear it obviously. Hearing what the conversation was about, he kind of puts the bowl to Magrim and is like, "Should I push these people out and get ourselves comfortable down there?"
Magrim?
Oh no. If he's muted, maybe that's just that. Boy.
You're back, Aurora.
Give me a sec.
Okay, no worries. Oh, wow. Okay, well, in this very tense moment, we're gonna go for a short break so everyone can come back.
Do that.
So, pet your pets, grab some water, go to the bathroom, whatever have you. We'll be back here in 3 minutes or so.
Technical difficulties.
Technical
hey.
difficulties. We're just gonna let's have 3 minutes because also Spiker's coming back. So 3 minutes break,
No.
real quick.
Yep.
3-minute break.
You're back.
Okie dokie then. So Twitch chat. This is just between the couple of us, okay? This is great. This whole situation, amazing. I am loving it. Just like that McDonald's slogan, I am loving it. But instead of loving it, we're actually living it. And guess what? I think if you If you type enough PogChamps, we just might actually survive this. Anyway, hope you all have a great break.
I am terribly sorry about that. Not something I could have avoided conversation-wise. So, what did I miss?
You're good. We're just taking a break real quick.
Okay. I know I was like called out by something, and I literally just asked if like, hey, could we do a thing? And it's like, wait, shit.
Yeah, I was looking to see if there was any kind of hierarchy on the elf side. You asked to assist, and he said that you couldn't assist, but you could roll for yourself.
Oh, okay. Well,
But,
that's
I didn't see anything, and then we just kind of moved on, and then Mag had some technical difficulties as well, so we're just taking a quick break.
I am also very good at perception. So,
Nice. You might actually see something.
yeah, like as soon as I said that, my mom came in and it's like, hey, I went to the house, and it's just like, well, shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
that happened to me earlier. Like, I was sitting here waiting any minute now for my wife to be like, hey, I need you to come help me. And then, right as Magrum tried to talk to me, she opened the door.
Yeah. I'm actually building my house right now. I'm actually only a couple weeks from closing. So like all of the things are all happening at once. So
So you're building a house? That's fucking dope.
yeah, sinking $250,000 into it, and it's just like, oh, my money.
Yeah. Me and my wife want to build, but stuff's expensive.
I
And we
I
don't know
haven't
where we
been-
want to go yet, so.
Well, I ultimately realized after COVID and living in Kansas City, that I kind of wanted to stay in Arkansas, and just like, because I like the Ozarks, like it feels like home, right?
Yeah. We're definitely staying around the Nashville area that we're in now, but like
Mhm.
my family is on the west side of Nashville, like probably about an hour west of Nashville. Her family is like an hour east of Nashville.
Ooh.
We're like, do we want to? And right now we're up there on her side of things is where we live, and it sucks because it's like a 2-hour drive almost to go see my side of the family.
Yeah.
So we just have to figure out where we want to live. I work in Nashville. She works south of Nashville, so
Well, it sounds like it has to be Nashville.
yeah, I
Oh.
don't want to live in Nashville.
Inner
don't
city
wanna
Nashville
live in the
is
city.
bad.
Yeah, I do not want to live in the city.
I'm back.
No.
I am
so-
back too.
Sorry, Theron. My mom came in and asked me about the house, and she apparently had just gone there, and I didn't know. And it's like,
No
hold on.
worries. No worries. No worries. That's cool. It happens. Like lives happened around the game, so no worries there.
Yeah.
We're here for like 4 hours. So-
I know, right? It's a lot. I'm trying to be respectful of your time, so it's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I filled him in on what
I'm just
I
worried
saw,
that.
and he decided he wanted to roll his own perception.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
like
I'll,
yeah, I have the thing.
Yeah,
I see.
we're just worried that sometimes Discord can be a bitch, and suddenly you can't speak or hear stuff anymore. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why we like ask what's going on.
Indeed. I will wait for everyone to return to before I mention the result of your roll. How we doing today, Hemo? We all good? Saw your images of, like, cooking in the forest, more or less, what I saw.
Howdy.
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 Just waiting for Pixel to return.
Okay.
I was here the whole time. I was just listening to you guys. Sorry.
Oh, you stalker.
Oh,
I
yeah.
am the spot.
I have been observed.
Hmm.
Oh no.
And the walls have ears.
And the floor has eyeballs.
Indeed.
Oh God, no.
No, please. God.
Yes, and the floor is offended by you stepping on it, so you should apologize now.
Mhm. Okay, okay.
But it's staring at me.
Don't tread on me, bro. Okay, so the perception roll for Aurora as you're like staring over there to try and deduce hierarchy. Whilst Karak is looking over there and can't really see anything, maybe your time spent there.
Sand in my eyes.
Sorry?
I said, got sand in my eyes.
You got sand in my yeah, exactly. It's coarse and dry, I guess everywhere. Aurora, you are 100% certain after monitoring the back and forth that this is more a collective of people that are ensuring that everyone is as properly nourished as possible. If someone is like slightly a little bit more hungry, you've noticed like even Naev has like offered a little bit more water or a little bit more gruel. So you feel like it's more like everyone gets what they need, as opposed to on the east within this other collective of various races like human, Goliath, halfling, half elf. Everyone's eating for themselves. But there is no established hierarchy, as you can see.
Say what you want about the elves, they're shifty and get into everything, but they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'll do what I did at the end. I'll like kind of push my empty bowl to Magram and ask him, should I move these humans downstairs so you get some space for us?
So real quick, the leader, Manaj, told us that we can stay if we remove the people that are staying in this tent, right?
Right.
Assume that.
Yes. Okay. Yes, well, suppose telling them first that the tent will be occupied would be good.
Sure. I look at the others and like, we got ourselves a place. And kind of
Really?
Well, we're supposed to evict the people that live there.
Right.
So nonchalant about it.
I am. I am dying to see how that'll turn out.
Yeah, we're just stealing these guys' house. What's the big deal?
I'm not going
What
to
are-
state my moral objections.
Just gonna go and see if I
I
can
think
help.
Lokar is just going to like move into the tent and he's going to say in sort of an imitating voice.
Intimidating voice?
Intimidating voice, yes.
Not
Why is it so
imitating?
hard for me suddenly? I guess there was another word on my tongue that wanted to be said. Rather. And he just says, Mazda set, we can live here now, so get out of here. And he's kind of like putting his hands into knuckles. Can seem like getting ready if any of them like come at him.
Sure. Roll me intimidation.
All right. I do have a proficiency in intimidation, but that puts me to a nice +0. Could I use strength for intimidation also?
Oh, you could do what?
Use strength for intimidation. It's like a physical.
Nah, it's fine like this. This guy, who's like I mentioned before, these four at the bottom, they're barely like hanging on. They're like, weak, but they're eating, they're drinking, but they're clearly having the worst of the life of a slave. And this one comes up to you and says to you, "It's like, we've been here for weeks. You find your own place."
I'm just going to pick him up. By like the side of the shoulder, pick him up and like getting him high up, like here he is, and just move him out of the tent and put him down.
Alright, he's gonna try and like resist your grapple.
Okay.
So like it's gonna be he'll try and dodge your grapple attack. So just roll for grapple.
Yep.
Your athletics.
Wow. Okay.
He rolls in that one.
Wow.
Oh no, sorry, you roll in that one. Oh
Yes.
wow. Okay, cool. This is so funny. Like you're this big beefy guy.
But natural ones don't, they don't work on skill checks, so it's still 6.
It's still a 6. This is true.
You know,
And
maybe you just failed.
maybe it's because you grab part of his shoulders and you don't realize how bony he is, and there's like some where his arms should be or shoulders should be, it's kind of mostly fabric, or it's just like a slip or like a cloth over, and you don't grab a hold of it, and he like slips out of your grasp, and he's gonna roll to attack you.
Well, wait. I have a bonus action still. Since I used an attack action to grapple, I'm going to bonus action punch him. Like, the moment he realizes he's get out of grip, he's like, fuck this, and just going to punch. If that's alright.
I think the grab wasn't really in initiative order. I think that's just
Yeah,
like,
but it's still a use of an attack action, so I can immediately like use my bonus action to attack.
if that's what you see.
Just roll initiative, see who goes first.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Okay,
I
roll.
assume this is part of what I just did.
Okay,
right?
roll
I'm sure
initiative,
off-road.
and we'll see if the guy beats your initiative. Because we weren't really in initiative order for a bonus action. Just roll your initiative.
Right. Now that's
Okay,
that.
yeah, he slips
The
out.
dice have spoken.
And yeah, the dice gotta see this. He slips out of your grasp, and he looks to like, he like, what's it called? Like he pulls his arm back to try and punch you. But you obviously action far faster than he does. What do you want to do? You want to punch him?
Yeah, I think the moment he's
Okay.
like, just show it to everyone else, and I'll be
Roll to
like,
attack.
if you want to resist, and I am going to try to punch him
Punch.
a few times.
Oh.
You just killed him, man.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's 8 points of damage.
You collapse his chest in the tent entrance. Your hand basically, your punch shatters his rib cage, and he goes, and he falls to the ground dead.
You remember what I said, that he hits like a horse?
The other one that's in the back, just like finishing up his water, just like, half sip, mid sip, sees this, and he's like, "Gerald, tinsel yours," and he like goes really fast, and he like shimmies around you, like staring up at you, like he's super intimidated, and he's gonna go back down here and like cower in the corner. The others, this guy here, one of the weaker guys that Aurora gave his her porridge to, her gruel to, like drops the bowl that he was eating. It like sort of splatters on the floor and backs up again, like to the wall, in the sight of the fact that you shattered this guy's ribcage.
Going to move the body away.
Oh, okay. You can do that.
Just like maybe throw him against the wall.
You're gonna ragdoll him?
Yeah, like over here.
Sure. You grab him by the leg. He doesn't weigh very much, and you toss the body, and it like makes this bone crunching noise as it slaps against the cliff face. You see at the top here, this guard up here. You can hear an audible laugh.
And I kind of like have eye contact with Aurora as I throw this human against the wall. And then I go into the tent.
That
Neat.
wasn't supposed to. Okay.
We made it one full episode before killing an innocent person.
Not innocent, a human.
He says it. Yeah.
No, he doesn't say
He's
that.
just going to go.
Yeah.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Lisa's going to go, well, damn.
Friendly reminder, I took like 3 of those.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see Melanda basically pinching the bridge of her nose and like sighing deeply and goes, "When will he learn?"
You there. You can have your bowl. Let's get it before it seeps into the sand.
He like sort of scrambles, picks up the bowl, and even though there's grit and dirt in it, you can hear him like still slop it up. And you know that really sort of chilling noise of someone grinding sand between their teeth, you know, like sort of makes you shiver. You hear this like sort of
I will take the time of any of their food and water that was left behind and bring it to them.
Who? Oh. Who? Wait.
The 3 people that were evicted.
They have their... Well, the bowls that are in there, they're now empty as they were dropped. So you can provide the empty bowls back to them, that's fine.
Yeah, whatever is still left in them, plus the guy that was murdered.
Uh-huh. There's now basically a pile of bones and flesh held together with a loincloth.
You coming in? Space now.
After that, I'll go to the corpse, say a prayer, mutter it to myself, and strip him of his link off. What's left of it.
You're gonna loot the body?
Anything to survive.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you can take the bloodied loincloth off of this broken heap of an ex-man. And yeah, you have some cloth.
I'll lay it flat so it dries.
Nice. It takes literally 10 seconds in this heat.
And then I'll step in the tent and... You know, not everybody can take a punch to the chest.
Well, if they're so stupid to try to fight me, then they wouldn't have lived long anyway.
I'm gonna move into that tent. Well,
Where are you from? What tribe are you from?
None of your business.
My tutor. He's a Goliath, you know? He told
Why?
me something that stuck out to me a bit. That a tribe is only as strong as its weakest link. And that doesn't mean you should kill the weakest link. It means the weakest link must be as strong as the other end of the chain.
I'm aware of that. We exile anyone that is too weak. And if they can prove they can survive on their own, then they're worthy of coming back. But I guess a Goliath teacher explains why you can take a punch.
I'm not sure which one of you hit harder.
Not like it matters to me.
You think you could choke one out with this? It's at least one person. I'm gonna like spin the cloth and turn it into a thin rope.
You think it would be easy for me to punch their face in? I could probably do that.
Well, it's another option.
So, Margrim, what do you think? How do we
Well,
get out of here?
uh, I'd like Carrick to be present, but essentially, as he sets some of his food onto the sand and starts drawing a detailed picture on the floor. So, I
Eric
counted.
hears his name and he steps inside the tent and sits down.
I counted that there's at least a bit more of a dozen guards outside, and it seems like that they are new faces, and that about mealtime they probably switch. I saw that to our left the tents are more ragged, and to the right are more fancy with actual roofs. So to the right are probably the more higher ups, and to the left, well, probably more your common soldiers. I am not in a possession of knowledge what is south of us, as it gestures to this direction. However, I believe if the living quarters are to our immediate left and right, then the fastest way out of here would be through the gate. Since climbing this wall would take time, and the two guards that are on the corners probably see this side pretty well. I'm not able to see if they're elf, half-elf, orc, if they can see in the dark. If the dark can even help us in climbing the wall on this side, as he points to the sand picture. He's gesturing to this area. That would be our best bet if they cannot see in the dark.
So, what's not on this map, and I should have mentioned it, is that the houses go all the way around the backside too. They're just not on the map.
No, okay.
They're the same
Oh.
huts as on the west side.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, we are surrounded by guard houses, which they're probably sleeping. Even if
Yeah.
you manage to climb out of this place, you could probably find a captain or someone with a whip on the other side.
How high are these cliff sides? Again, I think maybe you've said it before, but
The cliffs are quite tall. As they further down into the slave pens, it's kind of on a slope, like a swimming pool, where the shallow end is in the north where the gate is, and it slowly goes down. So at the back here, the cliff faces are closer to 25 feet tall, and then an additional 10 foot of a fence on top of that.
How far or how high could I throw someone? In
How,
theory.
how high could you throw someone? What's your strength?
17.
Okay. The thing is, it depends on how
I
much
have
they
double.
weigh.
Yeah, I have powerful builds, so I can have double the weight when it comes to carrying, and I can carry around. With that, I can carry around 510 lbs. And I think if you drag, push, or lift something, you also get another double on that. But I
Let's
would probably
see
just
here.
use normal carrying. So I could probably easily carry any of them, especially since they're not holding any heavy equipment, and I'm not holding any equipment.
Just like looking it up. It's gonna require a significant feat of strength to get even anywhere close to throwing even a halfling over the edge without catching them on the spiked tops of the fence. Because you're not throwing horizontally, you're throwing like a curve up and around, and weight being as it is, it's not like if you have a child, maybe you could like hurl them, but in this instance, you're unlikely. I mean, you can try it, but it's going to require a significant feat of strength to even assail someone over the like a 35 feet tall fence.
All right, you can throw me, and I curl up into my shell. No, I'm just that's true.
Like a frisbee.
Mm.
Like one of those Mario Kart
I only
shells.
weigh 420 pounds.
Yeah, I'm throwing a green shell.
Mario.
It's heavy.
And like the gate is I assume 10 feet high then, right? Since the fence is 10 feet high.
Yes.
Is
I
it
guess I'll-
nighttime yet, or is it still? Like,
It's getting to there. So people you can see have moved. You can see through the holes in the tent. So basically, what you have is a covering at the very least that will like shield you from maybe some of the things, but it's not that much more significant than just sitting outside. So you can see through the holes of this makeshift shanty tent that it is becoming dusk, and the temperature is dropping.
is it like cold yet, or is it still just dropping?
It's getting cold because you're used to the heat of the day.
Right.
It's getting cooler for sure. You can feel it.
And Karek would know it's gonna get like frigid at night
Yeah,
out here. Right?
exactly so.
Yeah. Okay.
No, Magram, what you're saying is that we should try to escape once we're on work instead of escaping right here.
We need to see how the guard is located during working hours. However, I believe if we could escape somehow through the gate, because that seems like the area that is the most, well, the easiest to climb over during the guard shift change.
I
might have a
can literally like put you over it, I think. I think my arms reach over that.
Yeah, and if we can find the lever, then that would be quite easily opened.
And what's going on with these magic thingies that you guys are having trouble with?
Not sure if we can still cast spells outside of this place. Don't get
Yeah,
beaten.
that's probably out of the question. Spells are getting kind of interrupted around here.
Is this something you can beat the shit out of it so it stops, or?
Well, if we probably get to the tower, there might be the enchanted item that is keeping this, us from keeping us our spells that we could
We c-
disable, but that would lose some precious time for us.
If we could disable it and not have them know, at the very least can create water for everyone. Gives us more time.
True.
Or we could always try the most, I don't know, basic approach and go up to the gate and try to charm the nearest guard with our words. Try to
That's what-
persuade them.
Or
All
and
else
then
fails.
and grab him by the cuffs and slam his head on the gate.
I was
I mean-
afraid
I
you were
mean-
going to go somewhere far different with that.
I mean, Melanda's more than capable in that. I'm not sure about the rest, but I don't know
I could
if
try.
these
rather
guys
be
get off,
helped.
but I mean, they might want to do something else. That what they need to open the gate for, what they need to open the gate for it, so. It's a
A
possibility.
question for Theron.
Yep.
Just make sure I'm understanding this properly. This is just where the slaves are kept when they're not working, right?
Right.
We're assumingly going to be hauled out of here tomorrow to go work all day.
You have people in your party that can know these answers.
Yes. We'll be taken to the ziggurat. We'll either be cutting stone, or we'll be dragging the stone with our bodies. If we're lucky, they'll give us a piece of wood to drag the stone.
Isn't it
Well,
more
maybe.
efficient to use wood for pushing stone around?
Oh, they're not cared about efficiency. They care about our suffering.
That is inefficient.
My suggestion would be we just bide our time for tomorrow, see how the day goes, and see what we can figure out about the guards and their ways of doing things. And then maybe we can come up with a better plan with more information tomorrow.
I agree. We need to see our working condition. Who knows? Maybe we can smuggle some tools.
Yeah. I don't know exactly
need it.
where we would put those tools, but yeah.
Oh, I have places I can hide stuff. Just pull an arm inside my shell.
You know that turtle
Wow.
shells aren't like just this cavernous seashell that you retreat
No, I know.
into, right?
I know.
So are you like, is there a house in there? Or how does that work?
Oh no, I'm in here.
Are you the shell?
Yes. Yes, the shell is part of me.
Fascinating.
Yeah, just so you guys know, I probably don't need any tools to be as efficient as I can be. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I work pretty well even without anything.
I mean, I can punch stuff, but I need my magic. And she looks down at her hands, lets out a frustrated sigh. Without it, I have nothing, basically.
I mean, human, I don't know if you've been at a ziggurat. I'm surely you can cast spells there, right?
Depends
Some
on what
magic
side
stuff
you're
going
on. Depends on what side you're on. If King Kalik is nearby, absolutely not. He has an entourage that protects him, anti-magic fields that only he can operate, things like that.
He oversees the construction.
No, but he does visit from time to time.
Like, it's too important.
Everything's beneath him.
Fuck that.
Anyways, you people should eat your bowls and drink your water. I don't know how the elves steal this stuff, but I don't want to find out. Maybe we should do some watches.
Right. Yeah, speaking of which, Aurora, you haven't touched your ragu with leeches.
Would you like it?
Aurora doesn't have any porridge.
I-
Yeah.
I have
Yeah, no,
water.
it's that he does. He
Oh
says
wait,
that
yeah,
as
Nissa
he-
gave it to Aurora. Yes.
moving. Says
Yep.
that as he is gesturing to his bowl, that he is willing to share his food with her.
With who? Sorry.
Aurora.
Okay.
I think Lokar is just rolling his eyes.
Nita just gulps down her water. And that's
Keep your strength for now, Magrim. You can have it.
Okay.
Yeah, don't
Magrim.
support a stupid decision on not taking food or water.
We will find a way through getting everyone to cooperate. To do so, we must earn their trust. You cannot lead without those beneath you trusting in your decisions.
Yeah, just keep not drinking and eating, and she'll go fine. Everyone liking you.
Everything's
Speaking
on time.
Speaking of which, what about that man that you helped at the queue? Do you think he would be willing to help out, or I don't know, what happened? What's up with him?
Did kill his friend, but
Hmm.
he does owe me. I hope that matters.
I don't think so. Let's just say whatever it is to keep getting food from you, and the moment his death is possibility, he's gonna shy away.
Not all humans are cowards. Some are desperate.
Sure, you think that?
Maybe we could get this guy, Manaj. Maybe we could get Manaj to trust us in a similar way over the course of, I don't know, tomorrow or the next days if we're, still not stuck here.
Yeah. We likely have less than a week before we begin to physically ail, so quicker is better.
Top of that, I don't know how long Melanda's gonna be here, since they haven't interrogated her yet.
Thanks for putting that into my mind. I was just trying to get comfortable. These rocks. It's hard to sit on anything. Is the entire floor made of sharp rocks? Look,
Yes.
I guess there's a new loincloth you can use.
You
That's
can.
some sort of cushion.
Toss it to her.
She looks at it, kind of horrified, and throws it back to you and says, "You keep the dead man's loincloth to yourself. I have my own standards." And she scoops off some ground to try and find where the rocks are that are least sharp, and tries to settle. And she's shifting, clearly uncomfortable. Looks to you, Lokar, and says, "They threw us in here immediately, as far as I'm aware. I mean, did anyone wake up before we got into the slave pens?" She looks around.
No.
Can I make an insight check on Aurora?
Yeah,
No.
you can.
Can I get in on that?
And Aurora's no, everyone looks at her. Sus. So here's the
Interesting.
situation when it comes to player roles. against another player.
Nice.
The player who's like either being persuaded or is saying the truth or deceiving. You do not say one way or another what you're rolling. You just put in a dice roll, right? So the people don't know if you're trying to be deceptive or truthful, right? It's up to them to define based off their insight. So if you, because it's a little metagamey. Why are you rolling insight?
I thought that was what we were doing.
No. So like
You needed me to roll insight.
so everyone else is rolling insight as they look towards Aurora, but Aurora, because people are trying to read you, your choice here theoretically is it would be either truthful or deceiving, right? But because we don't want the players themselves to know one way or another, you don't roll directly from D&D Beyond. You just roll directly into Roll20 what your role is, and then we can go from there. Because otherwise, this keeps like a little bit of mystery.
So if you're like lying, you would use deception stats, and if you're being truthful, you would use persuasion stats.
Mm-hmm.
And you just roll a normal.
I think
D20
they're still the same,
one.
right? It's still the same stat because it's charisma one way or another.
In theory, I guess you could have proficiency in one or another, but obviously we're not gonna look.
Fair. I mean, or if you, it's up to you. Or you could just say what they glean from you.
Or you could whisper it to the DM.
Or you could whisper. So there's lots of choices here. I think the anonymous roll of like there's a stat thing just for people to know whether or not it was successful. It's up to you. I mean, I don't mind either way.
I'm gonna see everybody staring at me and it being like, I understand your suspicions, but I haven't lied to you since we've been here. I gain no benefit from lying in this situation. Cooperation will see us through.
For once, I agree with you on that. We gotta work together.
I just want to put it out there that she could have been thrown in here with us, so she gets on our good side and she interrogates us that way.
Oh, if the Templars would ever be so clever. Now they are going to do a far more direct route if they so deem it.
What they usually would do, yes. They also usually wouldn't take a human as a Templar.
I earned my keep.
You sure think that?
Okay.
To be fair,
How about
fair,
we don't
Templars.
lead
Oh, sorry.
each other's... Sorry. My bad.
No, you go.
How about we save our strength not for bickering but for working tomorrow? I understand that it seems all of you have prejudice against humans.
Not prejudice.
Okay. Veiled threats and hatred.
It's normal, Magva. Think nothing of it.
So why don't we use that instead to keep ourselves strong as a unit? Just like those elves over there that seem to be better off.
Alright. We can certainly try. I mean, we've got nothing to lose at this point.
That's what you think.
I agree.
Well,
It can
nothing
get
That's
to
surely
so,
not the
our
game.
lives.
so much worse.
There's surely a lot to gain, though. So,
And hopefully in the process we can gain companionship and trust. In the meantime, let's not burn any bridges while they're still in process of construction. I don't see any reason not to trust any of you. And
I see.
how about we keep it that way?
But I understand that most of these people here are weak already. And she isn't. So, it would be a waste of time. Trying to stop her running back to the Templars once we're out of here, so. I don't intend on fighting with her.
Well, it looks like we're gonna have. We'll have to if we want to escape.
Well, I'm
So
not
let's
gonna
keep-
fight against her, I suppose.
Let's stick together for now, and you can bicker and be at each other's throats when we're outside. Okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Agreed.
Then, I wish all of you a good night. But let's be real, none of this is great.
Maybe we should take turns, staying awake.
I'll take fast watch. I can't see during the night.
I'll take last. And you
Yeah.
can see like kind of stone on stone sound as he kind of moves to a resting place as his like body it's like similar to stone as it like lays down on the stone ground. Let the screeching a bit
Mm-hmm.
as he moves into position.
I can take the watch after you, Aurora. I can see in the dark.
It's not the Asima blood. Kinda jealous.
Well, I'd say it's more of my eyes than blood, but yes.
I'll take the last watch before morning.
I'll take second to last, maybe.
Okay. You all, Melanda just looks to you left to right and says, "How very organized of a new group of people. Brings me back." Well, it seems like you got the hang of this, but it's going to be a cold night without much shelter. I hope we all survive it. If there's nothing more to discuss tonight, my bruises are complaining further at me. I'd rather get at least whatever sleep I can. And as she says that, her stomach growls loudly. I don't know how long we're going to stay in here, but what those rations give is barely enough to survive. I hope it doesn't come to the fact that if we're going to keep up our strength, we may not be so amicable to those around us. But for now, Lokar, hands to yourself. And Melanda sort of wraps her thin silk dress around her legs a little tightly and sort of lays down on her side, and she tries to get some sleep.
Wait, so we're in loincloth, and she gets to keep her dress?
Oh, apologies. Shift. She has a shift, not a dress. A shift. It's like a
Okay,
linen
I'm like-
cloth shift. My apologies. I was just looking at a token.
Yeah.
Of course, you're all in shifts and loincloth.
If she can have drip, why not us, huh?
No, yeah, it's you all are in the same thing. She doesn't have a dress on.
Yeah, guys.
She wraps her slip around her. And unless there's anything further to discuss tonight.
Not from me.
Okay, then you collectively drift off in weariness, tiredness, self-injury. Well, not self-injury, injury. And Aurora, you are left awake. What are you doing as your first watch?
I'm gonna rely on my my guard training, and I'm just going to pay really close attention to like subtle changes in like the atmosphere. Like if I hear something, if I see something, gonna make sure my night vision is as good as possible. And just see if the elves would go quickly. If that rumor, I guess, is gonna happen, at least on my shift.
Mm-hmm. It is obviously dark, so if you roll your perception check with disadvantage, in the twilight hours, you know, still a little bit perhaps of the light could help you out, but in this, it's still dim for you. Oof. So 10.
Yeah, I rolled that back with control. Okay.
No worries. We all thank Hemo for his wise words.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice in the twilight hours there is still movement within the elven camp. Few moving in between the tents. You don't see like anything much, just like shadows moving here and there. The snoring of Grange in the tent literally next to yours deadens any sounds that you can hear from that far away. It's like he is somehow gargling gravel in his sleep snore.
I wouldn't be able to sleep anyway, would I?
Until the night fully sets in and your night vision is, well, completely zero, and you rely on your hearing more than your sight. You look around the tent, and in this pitch black area, I suppose, without any light whatsoever, you see or hear the breathing of this ragtag group of people that you've been lumped with. You look from left to right, trying to pierce the darkness and hearing the different sounds of breathing. And left alone with your thoughts, your mind drifts to the warm bed that you woke up in this morning. The crowing of the cockatoos at your neighbors. The duties that you are so accustomed to with your uniform, your routine. This is all very new. And certainly unexpected. Is there anything you want to do in your watch?
Say a short prayer to Ilmater and be no, we don't always have the same idea. It's a really backhanded way to make me suffer. Am I doing something wrong? Good God. I think that'll be it.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. As you close your eyes and say this prayer, you sit in silence, trying to gain any sense of sound, of movement around you. And as you have this time to yourself, something odd draws your eye to the north of you, the shape that slumbers closest to you. Artifacts on his skin begin to glow. Softly, not like a rave or anything like that, but like this glow-in-the-dark sort of stickers kind of effect. You know, this like dull lime green that accent his skin. They are no longer black. It doesn't offer light, but they are perceivable to you.
The nine hells, Magvar, what the fuck are you?
Magrim. Unless you're doing that on purpose.
Magrim. Yeah.
This night, unless you want to do anything with that.
No, I don't have enough information, but I'll put it in the book of notes.
Okay. You perceive with your ears somewhat okay. The sound of Grange deadens anything that you can potentially hear, and the night, other than the runes on Magrim's skin, it's pitch black to you. Until you feel like you have counted enough seconds in your mind to guess that it's been about 2 hours and now it's time for you to sleep. And you go to, I believe it's Karik, who is your first waking up person.
No, I was going to take the last one.
I think Lokar said last, because he doesn't have night vision.
It's actually Magvar, I believe, or Magrim. Yeah,
Magrim
I
is
keep saying-
first?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Magrim first.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
wake up
that's
with
okay.
Magrim.
So I actually, with that, remembering that, I guess after, does he glow for like a long period of time?
Perpetually.
So yeah, I guess after my watch is pretty close to done, I'll tap him awake. And does like the glowing stop when he wakes up?
Nope.
Do you know you glow?
Oh, thanks.
That
You glow as well, especially when you smile, which is quite rare.
The Riz.
I meant those.
Oh, yeah. I know. I'm still figuring out why that happens. Hence why I came to this desert.
Anything to worry about? Personal endeavor.
Once I find out more, maybe then I'll worry. But for now, I'm not.
Keep in mind, they already look at you as human. If others see that you're even more different, you'll have even fewer friends.
Well, guess I'll try to make better ones then.
Good luck. Can't see shit, and he's going to keep me up.
Oh yeah, I can hear a cricket blowing on my. Anyway, good night, and get your strength.
I'll be thankful if I'm not dead in the morning.
Noted. Okay.
Man, yeah, I'll go to sleep.
You do so. Magrim, your perception check and anything you would like to do.
Perception. Why is it? I wish it was better. Oh, it's all right.
20. Well, you're not like restricted with no night vision. You can see in the dark up to 60 feet, which is not an inconsequential amount of distance. And you can see the grayed outline shapes of your newfound friends. And you too obviously hear the very loud, gravelly snoring sounds of Grunge nearby. You do, as you peer out through like the tent flaps or the holes in the tent flaps, you look around to the north, and there are some movements occasionally, but on the whole, it is quite quiet right now. You look to the south through the other way, and you see the evictees basically spooning each other in the cold, trying to keep warm. It's a 3-way spoon.
Nice.
So, they are huddled there, and you can see, even with your dark vision, you can see them shiver. But things seem quiet here. Anything you'd like to do?
And Magram's education wasn't the greatest, since the arcane books he read were very slim. Did he read anything about anti-magic fields and how to disable them? Can he try to remember anything? that he can?
Roll some what your choice, Arcana or History, your choice.
I'd like to use Arcana.
Okay. You are aware that all of the spell anti-magic field, like in your studies of like training of like magic, like you come across the spell. You know that it is a high level spell. You know that it takes a great amount of energy to do it, and the fact that you're not quite sure of like the mechanics right now, but something has to have been built to allow this field to remain here permanently, because at the very basic level, spells usually have a time limit.
Yeah.
So you don't know exactly one way or another like how this thing is here to be, but it would have to be constructed by someone exceptionally powerful. As a ways of removing it, you've never heard of an anti-magic field that spans this distance. And understanding how to disable it, I mean, the first thing comes to your mind is dispel magic, but that only works for like standard stuff. So something doesn't add up with your intelligence. Something doesn't add up that gives you that insight to say, what the hell's going on here? And maybe regular means may not be applicable here. From an arcane perspective, because you rolled Arcana.
Yeah. Maybe he'll ponder that thought, and as he looks out, he'll, think on this very hard and celestial in his head, see if his caretaker in the skies has anything about that they know perhaps about this.
I just need to check one thing here. So you know that your caretaker, so to speak, when you're awake, is more of a general feeling. It's like a guidance situation. And most of your connections or your communication with your caretaker happens only mostly in your dreams.
Yeah. Gotcha. So you'll have something to dream about. See,
He shall
good
try.
information. But other than that, he'll just keep pondering that thought and, looking out for danger, and just staring at the small sand picture that he drew in the middle of the tent and thinking, man, I could have been an artist. That's all he does.
Got it. Thank you. the last thing you feel before it is time to wake up, I think it was whoever the next one was. I think it was Nissa, maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Nissa.
Then your stomach growls.
Oh, man. I know. I also missed that meat pie too. He will shake gently Nissa awake.
Is it? Oh, is it already time for me to do the watch? And she will just
My bro
wobbly.
will say in Infernal. The time is nigh.
The fuck you speak Infernal?
Well, I have many friends. He continues speaking in Infernal.
She just, arches an eyebrow at him and says, let's chat tomorrow. Go to sleep.
Okay. Be careful. I heard and I saw some movement over there. He gestures towards the area of the elves. Just to be safe.
All right.
Have a rock at the ready.
All right.
And he'll go back to sleep.
Nissa, you also are very clearly, with your night vision, can see that Magrim is covered with very soft glowing runes. I mean, he saw the runes before on his body, but these are now this soft lime green color.
Okay. She will not say anything. She will just watch him from a distance and kind of make a mental note to remember that.
Nissa will remember this. Your perception check and anything you want to do?
Shall I roll a perception now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
As you're keeping a lookout through the holes and having a sound check.
Oops.
Okay. Not that the easiest task for you to do, I suppose. Maybe you are distracted, and the snoring of Grunge puts you off. But it's also uncomfortable, cold, and you are not, well, where you were this morning. Maybe a curious thought comes across your mind as, is this really any worse?
She will just sit outside of the tent.
Okay.
Pick up a rock and just hold it in her hand, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And try to be on the lookout, but her mind keeps drifting towards the memory of Hero, everything that happened.
Mm-hmm. As your memory wanders, rock in hand, a voice slips into your consciousness. Souls. And with rock in hand, you can still clearly see the crumpled body of the dead human killed earlier this evening.
Sorry, what did the voice say? I didn't quite catch it.
He said, like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She will kind of swallow through the lump in her throat and tighten her hand around the rock and go under her breath. More you me.
Sorry, I missed that.
She will go under her breath. She will whisper, "What more do you want from me?"
The voice comes back again with the same word.
Okay.
Souls. In a slightly more aggressive, passive-aggressive tone.
Okay. She will sigh and mumble her hero, and she will move to this sleeping man right here.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna. Well, not I, Misa.
Yeah.
She's gonna grab his throat and attempt to kill him,
Yeah.
to strangle him.
Oh wow. Okay, you're gonna like strangle him in his sleep. Okay. Sure. He is asleep and prone. So this is his strength is minimal at this point. And I'll forego the roll because you have all the advantage. And you almost mechanically reach down and cover his mouth and start to press down on his windpipe. He begins to struggle, but as you feel it, he doesn't have any strength in his body. How is this bag of bones still living and breathing, you ask yourself as you hold him down. And it doesn't take but a moment. He barely makes a wriggle, barely makes any sort of way to like resist you. And as you stare down at him, as his eyes look up at you, in the final moments of his struggle, you can swear that you see in his eyes a moment of gratitude and thanks for putting him out of his misery. And his body goes limp. And as you hold his body at the moment of his demise, you feel this pulse in you. A price. A price to be paid. This is one more closer.
She's gonna take a deep breath and try to steady herself and not seem like it affected her a lot, which it did. And she's gonna go back to the tent and whisper, "I hope you're happy."
In your conscious mind, somewhere living in the back of it, you hear what you can try to discern as almost a content sigh. That's all you hear.
Okay. So yeah, she's gonna stay put for now and try to just not appear as shaken as she is.
Mm-hmm. Your perception check makes sense given how distracted you are. And you're unaware really about anything. You're staring off into the darkness, trying to find some comfort. You shiver in the cold night air. Nothing really comes into your field of vision. Not that you would ever pay attention to it, given the state you're in. And your watch, you feel, comes to an end.
I don't remember who was next.
Carrick.
Carrick, maybe?
The turtle.
I walk over and gently knock on the shelf and go, wakey, wakey.
There's no response. It's great. The door is
Oh, it's
closed.
muted. Carrick is muted.
Carrick.
Oh, shit, my bad.
No
I forgot
worries.
my mic was muted. No, so you knocked on my shell, and I kind of groggily wake up, and then I notice that it's dark outside still, and I'm wide awake, like, excited. Ah, thank you for waking me up. And I just get up, and I go outside.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna go sit right here,
Uh-huh.
and while I'm also just kind of spending my time looking around, making sure nothing's going on in the camp. Most of it, I'm looking up and looking at the stars, and then drawing it in the sand, and drawing the constellations, and that's my watch.
You don't have night vision, do you?
I do not.
No.
That man.
So roll with disadvantage for your perception check for your immediate area. It's with disadvantage, obviously, and which also makes sense given you're barely paying any attention to it.
Yeah.
Unless you roll 2 nat 20s, then it's like, okay, no, yeah, makes sense. You look up to the heavens above. It is a clear night and cold, but you are used to this, strangely enough. In fact, this is the time when you are most excited, as you also know. The stars stare down at you, and as you look up, smiling, your turtle smile, you could be anywhere. The stars aren't strange or unfamiliar to you, except for that one that stands out. You begin drawing your constellations as much as you can, almost like it's from memory. You barely have to even look at the sand as you're trolling your finger through the sand to draw the constellations. Like it's heavily built into your muscles. But each time you come to that point in the sky with that star, something doesn't make sense. And it's almost like, does not compute situation. Like, why is the constellation wrong? That can't be the case. And even though you can't really see properly, you like brush the sand apart and like cover what you've drawn, and you restart drawing again from muscle memory until you hit that one part of that constellation with that strange star there, and it throws you off. It's frustrating. It's it's what's the word, like when you can't finish something, you have no closure. When you have so much, enjoyment of drawing the constellations, this one here is pissing you off.
Yeah. It's in the same place it always is.
It is.
Nothing different about it tonight.
Not that you can see. I would ask you to, perception check is irrelevant here. It's where it was. It's not where it should be, but it is where it was.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's all I do. I just, until the sun gets bright enough that I can't see the stars anymore, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking, I'm drawing, I'm redoing it over and over again.
You, as a stargazer, would know that you can tell the coming dawn when the early stars start to become difficult to see. They are interrupted by light coming, right? Because they are early stars and late stars, and when you start to see that these stars disappear from your vision as you're looking up, you really reckon it's about time to wake up your new Goliath friend.
Yep, and I'll waddle back over to the tent.
Waddle,
Kind
waddle.
of, yeah, nudge him on the shoulder. Lokar,
I
it's your
think
turn.
you can see he has a very light sleep, and like even as you get like close, he like suddenly like wakes up and like grabs your hand, almost like reflexive as a reflex,
Mm-hmm.
and then like lets go the moment he realizes that it's you. It's my turn, I assume.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning to you, also. And you can also see that the cold doesn't seem to do anything to him. Doesn't seem to shiver or anything. He's resistant to cold.
Cold never bothered you anyway?
Yep. And kind of like nods to you. Doesn't say a word if you don't. And is starting to take watch.
Mm-hmm.
Perception check at disadvantage with your statement of if you want to do anything.
Yes, sir. "13.
As the dwindling of starlight gives way to the coming dawn, this makes also sense as, the shapes that were pitch black in the first part of your watch become more visible as dawn begins to break. Is there anything you want to do?
I think you can just see he just does what he always does on his watch. He just sits like perfectly still and very focused. It seems very trained, just doing his job, not talking, trying not to think, just focus. And occasionally there's like this roaring fire of rage comes up, but he has got it a bit more under control now. And especially in this moment where he's trained, he can hold it down and just do his duty.
Is it fair to say that you would practice your forms as a ways of quelling your rage?
Yeah, probably a bit.
Like
Sometimes
the
I feel like I
discipline
can't.
side of things,
Yeah,
How does Lokar push down that rage?
I think what he has learned is like deep breaths and occasionally like trying to like relax and not keep tensing up, which he has a lot of trouble with doing, but he's working on it. And in this instance, I think he doesn't have to do much more than that. Yeah.
Cool. Fair. You can, gradually look around the camps and you can see some stirring. On the other side of the pen, you can see that there's already movement, and they were moving even before you even saw them. Like, when you could just start to make out some moving figures, it's not like they only just started to move. They seem to be active already. I'm not entirely sure about Lokar's history of being with elves. But it is known that, elves don't need sleep.
Yeah.
And they seem to be mobilizing and talking to each other and just like going on their day without any sort of problem whatsoever. And you think to yourself from a military perspective, how useful it would have been when you were a soldier to have had some sort of regiment of elves on your side. If only you had some elves with you at a certain period of time. They wouldn't have been caught unawares. You wouldn't have been caught unguarded by sleeping. And things could have gone a very different way. Huh. Elves. What are they up to? But dawn starts to break. And even though it is cold for you, it is still, your resistance to cold. That's fine. And you're used to the desert. But it's still uncomfortable. Your stomach also growls with this, and you feel like as everyone begins to stir and awaken from their slumber, this night hasn't been friendly to anyone. It's the rations. You're not getting enough sustenance. And it's cold, it doesn't bother you so much, nor does it bother Karik so much, but all things combined, each one of you ends the long rest, and then you will have the exhaustion level 1 applied to you.
Damn.
Those who do not have any sort of affinity of sleeping out under the stars or having a way to warm themselves up or is resistant will take an additional few points of damage. 1 point, it's not damage, sorry. 1 point from your constitution score is temporarily lowered. And you can do that in D&D Beyond.
You said that was only for those that aren't used to sleeping outside?
Yep. You still
So
get the
me and
exhaustion,
Lokar
but yeah,
still get
Lokar
exhaustion.
and Karik are saving themselves from the reduction of the constitution.
Okay, cool.
Everyone else, unfortunately, your constitution is lowered by 1 point. The score itself, not the modifier.
Okay.
You just click on the score, and then on the right you can put in like another modifier being like a -1, or you can overwrite the score.
I guess you can just go to the character builder and reduce it there.
No. You just click on your screen. You just click on the Constitution, like this like the number at the below, right? And the right, there's a window that comes up where the total score gets, and then gets mapped out. And just below that, you can have other
I have-
modifiers.
I have it on my screen right now.
If you
I
do
figured
it, yeah, by the editor, that's a permanent thing. This is a temporary. So doing it as Pepper says is the best way of doing it.
So you
figured
click
it
Then you
it.
just put in -1 there.
Okie dokie. It is daytime. You all stir, unrested, really, dehydrated, and for some reason today's heat is, even though it's the same as every day, kicks into these slave pens like a mirror or a lens focused on it, and the ground begins to heat up very fast.
Do we get any benefits of a long rest?
You do, but you keep the exhaustion because it's after a
Yeah.
long rest. You have a long rest, then you get the
Okay.
exhaustion and the constitution deduction. So you have spell slots, so to speak, recovered, but not that you can
Yeah.
use them. Or your key
My
points.
rage also
Your rage.
gets back from long rests.
Cool. Dawn breaks. I'm just going to change the music real quick. Noted
You can just press the long rest button, by the way, at the top if you haven't seen it. In Beyond, and then take a long rest.
The gong sounds and echoes through the slave pens once more. That same gong that you all recognized, and everyone moved as fast as possible to form in line. The same thing happens. An immediate stirring of the entire slave pen happens, and everyone goes to single file queue. The guards move out of their camps and huts and form their positions, as you can still see at the top. I haven't moved them there. The body is no longer there. I will delete that. Boop. And the slave, the head guard, screams out over the pens and says, "Water rations, you maggots! Get it whilst you can!" The same cue happens. And you can see, as I'm assuming you all move to get into order and queue, faster perhaps than yesterday, seeing what happened last time. You see behind you, as you, well, to the south, as you all leave the tent to run into single file. Each of you will see that the guy that Aurora helped yesterday is like looking down at his friend, his slave buddy, bunkmate, little spoon, whatever you want to call him. He's like kneeling down over the body and trying to rouse him from his sleep. And failing to do so.
Going to get in line.
You'll get in line. So just you can put yourselves in line, no problem. I'm gonna again forego the token movement because that's a lot of effort that you guys don't need. And the guy that Aurora that you helped yesterday fails to get in line. It's like he looks broken. This guy does, by the way. So he's just there. And if you get in line, Aurora?
I'll walk over to him and check on the corpse. That, you know, pretty
Mhm.
obviously dead, and his suffering has ended, but ours has not. To endure for his sacrifice.
Yeah, Nisa is also going to approach Guy and kindly put hand on his shoulder and go, maybe that was for the best, you know?
Roll me a persuasion check with that, please, Nissa.
Okay.
Solid 10.
That's perception, but
That's
what's the perception?
persuasion.
sorry.
Persuasion, please.
Sorry.
Thank you.
That's
for the
good.
catch.
Take it.
Well, yeah. My persuasion is stronger, so good.
You would re-roll
Okay.
regardless.
but the roll is weaker.
But the roll is
Never
weak
mind.
because the dice roll, the dice gods are
Mhm.
I
You
didn't like
see-
the old one.
Sorry.
First.
As you say those words, Nissa, you see a brief faltering as he looks down at his dead friend, and you could, see the slumping of his shoulders, almost like your words were just the push that he needed to give up. But then he looks to Aurora instead, and he stands up and goes close to Aurora and doesn't touch her or anything, and just weakly smiles and says, "Thank you."
Mercy is limited in cast.
Death is better than bondage for some. almost gave up. I hope to see my granddaughter again. Thank you for giving me the will for at least one more day.
We're all in this together, one way or another.
He nods sadly and gets in line. And the head guard screams out once more, "Go, you mate! I'm not going to be waiting around here all day!" And the gates squeal open, and the line of procession happens. There is no gruel. There is only water. And everyone goes and gets their water ration for the morning. Presumably, you will do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Grab your water, you come back. And it's not too much time after the water ration has happened when, again, there's no gong, but there is a beating of drums. Doom, doom, doom. As a guard, and he stands up next to the head guard, is starting to beat a drum. Doom, 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 doom. And bewildering to all of you, perhaps except to Aurora, a different procession happens here. The gates squeal open, and a number of guards troop through in, side by side. About 20 guards stomp through down the ramp into the slave pens, as the head guard shouts over to the pens and says, "Form your groups. There's someone here we have to see to." And we'll end the session there.
Damn.
All right.
Who is it? Who is it?
No, I couldn't imagine.
I mean, either.
Okay, guys. Sorry, I had to end because Magrum and Alex has to shoot off.
Yep.
And what happens next, I think I would like him to be here for. So, episode 2 in the books, guys. Amazing roleplay for everyone. I would like to give roleplay inspiration to everyone. Amazing job.
Damn it.
Thank you.
Should have used my talk inspiration.
You should have done that.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use it or lose it. So
Yep.
yeah,
Use it or lose it.
100%. Yeah, all inspiration. Well done. Amazing. Bravo.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It was a
Pleasure
very,
playing
very
with you.
nice session.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. So we will say goodnight to the stream. And thank you,
Good
Hima,
night,
for
stream.
hanging out, and all of you other people. If you like it, hit that follow. Smash this subscribe. No, just subscribe. If you like it, come back. We come here every week, 6 p.m. GMT, and yeah, we'll be back here hopefully next week for episode 3. Thank you and good night.
Night.